Roll call, please.
James Pfeiffer.
Eric Prime.
CJ Francoeur.
Robin Bowman.
Rob Daniels.
And would everybody please stand and join me for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is approval of a resolution, which is in the first item in your packet. It's a resolution authorizing acquisition of real property and to provide a grant to Bargersville Main Street. Does everybody have the opportunity to review that? Any questions before we? All right, then the chair would entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
Motion to approve resolution 2021-06.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Aye.
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 All right. Resolution passes 4-0 with Mr. Deedle absent. Next item is approval of the minutes from the November 11 meeting. If I get a chance to review those. Okay. We get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve minutes from the November meeting.
Motion by Mr. Pfeiffer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Francoeur. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Aye.
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 All right. New business. First item is Taxman P&L. Nathan, you're here on behalf of Taxman. Thank you for joining us. It may have whizzed over everybody's head, but the resolution that we just approved has a $75,000 grant baked into it for that will actually go to the Main Street group. They will then administer that grant to you and the folks doing the P&L project.
Okay.
So you'll need to interface with Main Street group. I believe that they will have a portion of that will remain with them. So it won't be 100% of the grant, but you know, price of doing business.
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
All right. Did we have anything else for Nathan? We've got a proposed lease. I know that the other part of the deal, the parking lot is percolating. So we're exchanging some documents and trying to get that nailed down in terms of exactly what's going on. Have we gotten a budget that's the final version that includes the alley and the utilities? That's still in process?
I don't have the parking lot included. We just received an estimate on the alley. And that actually is going to be on council Tuesday for the designer and kind of getting that kicked off, if you will.
Gotcha. And Nathan, just so you know, you may have already, I can't remember if this came up in our meetings, but the parking lot project is going to be wrapped into that alley renovation behind that also includes moving some utilities. So the budget's going to be higher than than just the parking lot reno. So we're trying to make sure that gets.
And we shared the civil drawings that you provided, Nathan, so thank you for that.
Okay.
And they may call you with a couple questions on how that works together.
Good deal. Okay.
So trying to move that along.
Okay, fantastic. Anybody have anything else about Taxman? Nathan, do you have any questions or?
No, I think we're in good place. Thank you.
Okay. Next order of business is the 2022 budget to review and approve. Based upon discussions with our outside consultant, the budget is substantially higher than it has been in past years, but that's in keeping with our new level of activity. So, anybody have any questions about what's been proposed? All right, we would Entertain a motion to approve the 2022 budget then.
Motion to approve 2022 budget, the redevelopment commission.
The motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Aye.
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 All right. In your packet is the 2022 proposed meeting schedule. I think it's pretty set in stone, but if anybody has any problems, just let staff know. Same time, same place. And then, I don't think that's anything we need to take any action on. Looks like Julie, you're up.
All right, as far as, development updates, Sundown Gardens is moving forward. They moved through the development plan. The Commerce Park project, is actually going to replat, so they are not going through a variance process, but they are still, moving forward. I'm sorry, Commerce Grove. They are moving through that, the apartment project, the duplexes, and then the commercial. So that will be, going back to Plan Commission. And then, is it
Julie, is that the one on 2 Cent Road?
correct? So those are still moving through the process. The ones listed on here. I don't think we've had any new ones filed, but I haven't checked this week, so.
All right, we did have you mentioned the Good Shepherd project. Is that the one you just said? I'm sorry, I was looking at something else.
No, I did not mention the
Okay,
the
so
Good Shepherd
potential,
potential one.
well, it's,
You can probably speak to that one better than I can.
well, I guess
actually.
so. So there'll be, Good Shepherd Veterinary Clinic is moving south of 2 Cent Road, and they're putting their clinic in the back of 3 parcels that they'll create. So there'll be 2 outlots available for commercial development, just south of 2 Cent Road, just north of that outdoor shop there.
The Honey Creek Tavern.
So, and that is in the existing industrial TIF district, right? Okay, anything else, Julie?
Not on those topics.
Okay, so that takes care of the priority areas of growth and current town projects as well.
Mhm.
All right, 2 for 1. Administrative items was budget review, which that's
There were no items to approve at this time.
perfect. Gosh, are we at the end of the agenda already? How did we do that?
And
Yeah.
I had Heidi, here in case you wanted to talk about next year financing, that kind of planning, as well.
Maybe a quick primer from Heidi and or Rich on just the general steps to, I know we've done this, but just maybe again, just because treat us like second graders for this, the point of discussion. Now that we've approved the resolution for the acquisition of the property, how does it give us that quick timeline of the steps to issue a bond
Are we
and?
doing ETC? Oh, you got the timetable. All right.
So I think you all received the timetable, like a draft of the timetable. It just had like day 1, day 5.
Back in November.
Yeah.
We would have to amend the economic development plan, which requires a declaratory resolution going through the plan commission, going to the town council, and having a hearing then back before the redevelopment commission to confirm it. So those are the primary steps at the beginning. And then as part of all that process, during all that time, you would actually issue a bond resolution and go through the actual adoption of a resolution to issue the bonds. And then we're ready to close basically at that point.
So how does that, so what's the diligence period? Do you remember?
I don't off the top of my head, 6 months, but yeah.
So
Sounds right.
I'm assuming we can close before 6 months if we get our diligence done.
We wouldn't.
So then we've got 6 months basically till we close, let's just say in June. So like, what's the timing as far as how does that overlay with bond issuance in your?
When do you need the green light to get going, I guess?
Well, so that whole process I outlined just then takes about 60 days. So, you obviously don't want to close before you have everything, all your ducks in a row.
And the only thing and I know we've had some discussions about this, is will we have any feedback from the park stuff by then? So we would know do we go ahead and issue a bigger bond, or do we just do it for the land acquisition purchase?
Or do we
But it
just,
sounds
was it separate bond issues, or would it all be wrapped in? If we, the plaza project?
Land
and then
purchase would be taxable. The land purchase would probably be taxable, and then the,
Well, you can do you can do all the steps together
Yeah.
and then issue 2 series of bonds.
Okay.
the land purchase will be a taxable bond issue, and the park work will be a tax exempt bond issue because it's all public infrastructure.
Does that save us fees at all if we do a couple of steps together and then issue 2 separate bonds, or does it not really matter?
No, you want to do that. You want to consolidate as much as
Less
possible.
meetings.
Yeah.
Less expense. On the bond sale side of things, besides the necessary legal steps, we'll do that kind of intermixed in with the legal processes happening, but we'll do a request for proposals out to banks if that's what you guys want to do. I think it's going to be the quickest and easiest method to get you going on it. So we'll do a request out to banks on your guys' behalf and find a purchaser and close from there.
All right, I just want to make sure we're all operating on the same page, so that when we get, 3 months into the due diligence period and the survey's good and the title's good and things are looking okay, that we don't forget to unleash the hounds and let you guys do what you need to do. So how do we do that? Do we have, Julie, you have a diary or some tickler, some way to remind that we need to get the bond process going?
I mean, I can even put something in my calendar to touch base,
I would
both directions.
like you to do
I
that,
mean,
just
if at
belt and
60
suspenders.
or 6
more-
months.
Yeah, the more we have
So
redundancy to make sure we don't skip.
Begin-
So what do you think your
beginning of June?
timetable is on your due diligence?
June.
Well, I think she
Sharon,
said-
I would say in your February meeting, you need to authorize them to move forward so you have wiggle room. Because while it can get done in 60 days, you don't want to have, you never know with the 5 of us.
Will we
You
have
know, all the
any,
steps and everything else, so give yourself 60 days leeway and get started in February.
By February, we'll have sort of entitled.
yeah, I was thinking more about the park project. Will we have any
No.
preliminary numbers or anything? Do we know? Probably nothing that needs to be decided today, but maybe a question to ask. When you're, discussion about how.
and really on our
General
end,
idea, but you won't have detailed plans, so you won't have.
Yeah.
and we'll need that before we would run any final numbers, because we've already put together, obviously, a draft set of numbers for you guys. So on our end, things will be really pretty quick. As soon as you give us the red light, we'll put together the term sheet and get ready to go with it. So.
Right.
So it just depends on when you want me to remind you, you need to authorize us
I
versus.
think our February meeting sounds like a
to author.
reasonable time period to benchmark.
But then you're gonna be issuing not until June or even July, probably.
It probably depends on how the diligence goes, and I don't know, does the town typically do phase 1? Do you delve in that deep, or are we just talking title and survey?
You should, on that property, do a phase 1.
Okay, so that,
Is that, where's the environmental coming?
that's
That is
phase
phase
1, yeah.
Phase 1.
So, all right, and then, again, procedurally, do we need to authorize somebody to engage an environmental firm and a surveyor? Or is that something the town can undertake?
Oh, you need to, is it you versus the council? It
Whoever,
would be you.
Okay,
Is there somebody the town has used in the past?
We've used multiple firms. You need to, it has to be something that you guys approve.
Right, but can we get a list of recommendations from?
Yeah.
Alright.
All Wednesday, I mean, there's 3 or 4
Also,
firms.
Wednesday, yeah.
We can give you the ones that we use on other projects.
All right, but assuming I'm signing, based on that resolution that we passed today, that I'm signing those 2 PAs, our due diligence starts running today or tomorrow, whenever that is. So if we wait 30 days for our next meeting to even approve, that may be too long.
You might want to make a motion to authorize you to
I think
allow
that-
you to enter into due diligence
yes,
work
We need,
contract.
we need authorization to obtain a title commitment, retain a surveyor to do the survey of the ground, and then engineering firm to do a phase 1 environmental study. Somebody wanna make that motion?
If I could remember what it was. Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah, I'll make a motion to, for us to engage in due diligence of the property.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote?
Aye.
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 Suzie, you have something?
No, I just got to Robin over here, Robin.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? I don't have anything else on the agenda, so. Good. All right, next meeting will be Thursday, January 13, 2022. Yeah. And we are adjourned.